All right, here we are live, the Entrepreneurial CPA Show, Dallas, Texas, home of the amazing Ed Kless. Ensuring Success 2018. You can see it's on in the background. Gail Perry and the team of CPA Practice Advisor, just doing it amazing. Now, Ed, you were on. You did an amazing session. It was you, Gary Boomer, and Craig Lafayette.
Yeah, I got to be the young guy, which was
yeah. You did a young guy in the group. Good. But you're talking about kind of the paradigm of Google and life after Google.
Yeah.
How was that discussion up there?
It was fun. It's fun to talk with a group of people who obviously had an interest in the topic and read the book as many times as I did, because it's not one of those books that you can just read once.
Yeah.
I mean, you really have to delve down into it. And I'll just try to quickly set it up. George Gilder, in a tight package and framework. Yeah. Gilder wrote a book in 1995 called Life After Television.
Okay.
In which he basically predicted this.
This right here? This right here?
This.
All this?
Like all this right here.
Okay.
Yeah. As well as Netflix and that whole paradigm.
Streaming on demand of shooting to watch
these guys.
Customizable, personalized.
And so that's why we should pay attention to this guy. He's like, okay.
Yeah, he's pretty smart apparently.
He's got it right before.
So his thought is that Google has a problem. And let me try to distill it down. It's fairly complex. One, they have a neo-Marxist mentality.
How do you like that? That's the first
here we
time.
go, dropping the
First
neo-Marxism
time
here.
Entrepreneurial CPA Show has said neo-Marxist mentality.
Ever
Yes.
in the history of the show.
I'm sure. All right. And what do they mean by that? Well, there's a couple things that Marx got wrong. Couple.
Okay.
One of the things that he got wrong is that they thought, and perhaps we'll give them some cred for this, is that they had reached a point in manufacturing where we figured it out. Like, manufacturing is done. We totally understand how manufacturing is going to happen. The only question is, how do we distribute the wealth, right?
Okay.
And then there and proletariat, etc. Right?
Yep.
He says Google has done the same thing. Google is a proxy, by the way, for like Facebook and a lot of these other industries. So it's not just
It's kind of big conglomerate.
An example.
But
Here's the theme though: the tech companies are powered by data.
By data,
but by
artificial intelligence,
Okay.
right? Artificial intelligence,
Yep.
and this is, by the way, the end. Because all we need to do now is write bots and sit back on the beach sipping Mai Tais, waiting to.
That sounds an awful lot like what Mark said, though, that now we're at the end.
Well, then we're at
right?
Neo-Marxist. See, so it's
It didn't work so well last time, though.
No.
Apparently, that was not the end.
It was not the
Right.
end.
Okay.
But yet the perception is that Elon Musk and his brethren are going to go fly through space while us schleps sit around and collect the universal basic income.
Well, the rest of us still like physically drive cars.
Yeah. All that boring stuff.
Okay, I'm making fun here a little bit, but that is the mentality, right? That is a little bit the mentality, and he says it's just as much a mistake as what Marx made. And the problem is, of course, is that Google's mission is to organize the information of the universe, right? That's like their mission. Everything. We'll organize the information of the universe. Problem is that they're robbing themselves of the very information that they need to succeed, which is price. Since 99% of the people who are customers of Google don't pay Google, right?
True.
They have.
I don't pay Google.
Yeah. They don't have any understanding of the price, of the value of that, of what we do. Now, they charge their customers the ads and stuff, right? But that's ultimately not where the value.
But speaking of that, thank you, Google, because you'll see a little Google right above up there. So thank you, Google, for providing this technology.
Thank you, guys.
For free.
For free. So thanks.
This is the very essence of the problem. But which is, it's great, and we all accept that. But what are we trading for that? If we're getting this for free, what are we trading? Our privacy, right? We're trading those things, and of course, this now has become the business model for them to mine this stuff. What Gilder says is, look, this is quickly going to come to an end because the next paradigm shift of technology is on its way. He equates. So we have. You guys have heard Moore's law, right? The doubling of transistors and the halving of cost to get there. Okay, there's a corollary to that called Bell's law, which says that every 10 to 15 years, because of Moore's law, there is a shift. There's in the ultimate technology, right?
Those little changes mount to something larger.
That's right, and we are in year 10 of the cloud.
Okay. Yep.
So then there we go.
Because we have seen,
due for one.
if you look at the accounting space, we've seen a lot. The accounting technology, was rather stagnant for a while.
Mhm.
The cloud was a big deal, but it wasn't. But in the past 12 to 18 months, we've seen a bigger shift of like some actual AI solutions and big data.
Mhm.
In our industry, we are seeing an actual true shift of innovation in some of these offerings.
Mhm.
They're early phase, but it is a true like pivot.
Mhm.
It's not like a small twist to like the tax software has an extra button
Right.
or you can e-file. It's like a true like pivot.
A paradigm shift, really.
Yeah.
But really what that is, I think, is catch up of all of this, the 10 years.
Yes.
And what happens with that is all of a sudden that becomes absolutely ubiquitous. And then we're like standing around like, what's next? Because we don't think this is the end, do we? I mean, yet it shouldn't.
Hopefully not, right? No.
But and this is where this ties in, because what Gilder posits is that it's the cryptocosm, right? The cryptocosm, which is a new vision of the interactions, call it the internet,
Sure.
in which instead of an afterthought or a bolt-on, security and privacy becomes part and parcel of the underlying technology.
Okay, the core most of that.
That's right,
underlying
the core.
technology.
Because the internet as we know it and the cloud as we know it, security is an add-on. Hence,
Yep.
two-factor authentication.
Yes.
And why we have to know the street we grew up on.
Yeah.
And our mother's
Name,
maiden name,
yeah.
and the first dog we ever had.
Yep.
Right? Like
All
all
sorts
this.
of other publicly available information.
Yeah,
that someone can
Yeah,
put
yeah,
in for us.
yeah, that's right. So all of this other stuff, because if you look at Google, hand of God, look at Google's website where they say basically security is it takes a village.
Mhm.
Their answer to what do we need to be secure? It's all our responsibility,
Yeah.
and that's
And
because
it's a team effort.
it's a team effort.
Team effort.
Because none of us pay them.
Yeah.
So they can get away with that,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? Well, if security becomes part and parcel of the internet experience,
That
goes
changes
away.
it. Yeah.
Right? That goes away. And that's where and you're beginning to see, and I just quickly mention if you want to check this out, I think one of the places to go is the Brave browser, brave.com.
Mhm.
Just download it, play with it. It's a Chromium-based browser, so
Okay.
right, Chromium code, but it's built on the Ethernet.
Mhm.
I'm not sorry, the Ethereum blockchain. Sorry,
Okay.
the Ethereum blockchain that then allows it to be part and parcel of this security layer. And what it allows you to do is assign what they call a BAT, a basic attention token,
Okay.
right? Where it collects and distributes these basic attention tokens based on your surfing ability. So instead of me going through a third party to get for ads and stuff, I say, no, I want ads of this nature.
Oh, so
And when they advertise to me, I get the money. Is a micropayment.
So it
Okay.
changes the whole
They've
business
shifted
model.
that paradigm.
It disintermediates
Google.
Okay.
That's a big deal.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a tremendous change.
that
Just
is
like that's a tremendous change.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because that's the Googles, the Facebooks, the Amazons, Twitters, everything.
Yeah. Amazon's a little better because they actually do
Sure.
sell real stuff,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
All right, so let's pull this back.
Yeah, yeah.
into-
Let's bring it back down.
Ed, you're one of the top thought leaders in the country. You and even the world, you and your partner Ron Baker. So what does the life after Google mean to the accounting profession? What does it mean to all of us?
It
If we're
means-
watching ensuring success back in our firms, back in our offices.
Yep.
What's our
Let me distill it down for this, and this is another thing that Gilder has instilled in me, not just in the Life After Google book, but in his previous work, and that is understanding that wealth that we all worry about, wealth is actually knowledge, right? The point he makes.
true
is this-
wealth? And you can see that in a way. True wealth is knowledge.
Wealth is, so here's the example. And Thomas Sowell, the economist, great economist, is the one who points this out. He says, all of this that we see around us, right? All of this from an atom, the atoms, right? Was here when the Neanderthals were here,
Yep.
Correct.
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
With the concept of matter is neither created nor destroyed. so
That's
it's
That's right. I mean,
Recycle,
with the
yeah.
exception of like the meteorite that's landed
Sure.
here, which is a like extremely small percentage, right? So all of these
Hopefully,
atoms,
extremely small percentage, right?
right? These atoms have been here. What's changed? It's the application of human knowledge to these atoms,
Mhm.
right? That's
Yeah.
created all of this stuff. That's what it is. So therefore, wealth, standard of living, is knowledge. And if that's true, then growth is learning,
Yes,
Mm.
absolutely.
right? So what does it mean for a CPA? You got to continuously growing this knowledge. You have to be growing your knowledge base by learning new stuff, and
And
not
it's
just
learning not just learning the tax.
not
code,
just the
learning
latest
other
tax
code,
code.
It's
but everything else that goes with it.
continuous learning
It's a
too, right? It's an
continuum.
ongoing process, right?
Right. And my big beef, and I made a joke about it on the ensuring success thing, is, you know, this notion of how we track CPE in the profession today is completely absurd. You guys deliver this stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I've had the guy in the back of the room, sometimes gal, but the guy in the back of the room who's sitting there reading the newspaper or whatever, you know, he or she gets just as much credit as the people who are up
actively engaged, taking notes. That's an obvious problem.
That's
it's an obvious
problem.
Okay.
That's not education.
No.
Right?
At all.
That's sitting your butt in a chair for 50 minutes is what that is.
Yeah.
Right?
Or 8 hours, depending on the length of the session.
But the point being is that we have to really learn. There's got to be real learn stuff.
Hands-on actual
learning.
Right? You gotta actually really. I like the phrase of like, you gotta continuously invest in yourself every day and be proactive in it. And like, that's the value we all provide out there in your firm, in your life, whatever it is are you investing in yourself to learn that knowledge? Because that knowledge is going to help you pivot to be a better person, one, at the most important level, a better person, and then able to be a better consultant. Because being a consultant takes in a lot more variety of skills and knowledge. Which you know, doing it, you've been a consultant for a while, and you said earlier you're a consultant to consultants. Like,
yes.
It takes a variety of different knowledge.
It's like a meta consultant.
Yeah. You know, it's not like you're just quoting the textbook to do that. You have to bring in a variety of things and topics and knowledge.
Right.
Depending on the situation. It's not something you just say, I learned that in school. You got to continuously learn and read books and absorb things like this and your radio show and all that stuff to like really learn it.
Yeah, and it's different sources, and it's not just nonfiction. It's fiction books, and you know, and incorporating. I think I made a Ray Kurzweil reference during the session. You know, you have to talk about this stuff. Robert Heinlein was Moon is a Harsh Mistress. Right? You can learn from these things. You read that book. It's wild because it's about what we're going through right now. Artificial intelligence plays a really big part in The Moon is a Harsh Mistress, to the point where, and you guys appreciate this, how they discover that this computer is gaining sentience is that it's playing a joke. You know what the joke is? It increases people's payroll checks.
Really?
That's in the book. That's what it does.
That's funny. Yeah, right.
Are you going to work on that in real life for all of us?
That's a positive joke right there.
Yeah. That's what it is. The joke is.
That's proof, all right.
Yeah.
So this is the other knowledge you got to bring in it because it's not just the technical part.
It's
all over the place. And how do you conceptualize these ideas? And sometimes it takes a far outside the box thinking, like computer playing a joke, and you can apply that to a very real consulting problem solving situation. Because problem solving is very different.
Abstract.
I like to say, like problem solving for us accountants in the past was 1 + 1 = 2. Very simple. And now it's more like quantum physics, where it's just this long, confusing problem that for now is right and at some point can be proven wrong. But
I put it this way. So from a consulting standpoint, and this was droned into me by my mentor, a guy by the name of Howard Hansen back a long time ago. He said, like, Ed, look, to be a true consultant, you have to understand it's about it. So that, you know, a lot of stuff about data science now. To me, a great way to think about it is data analytics is about seeking the answers from the data. Right? Data science is about thinking of new and better questions to ask to the data.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because what does science do? Science asks questions.
that's the whole point.
Yeah, that's the
hypothesis.
hypothesis. Right? So it's what new things can we pose to this data? That's the important thing now. Right? That's what we're seeking. And that is way different from being the provider of answers. And of course, in no fault of its own, the profession was told, you provide answers.
Yes. So that was our whole,
Forever.
and we provide answers on things that have already happened
You answer the questions.
a long time ago. Like, here's your tax return.
Yep.
It's things that happened over the past 12 months. Here's your audit the past 12 months, 18 months. There's always answers on the distant past. Like in
English, it's a past participle. That's what it's
Right?
It's accounting.
In the past, purely. And that's the pivot we've got to make.
Yeah.
So, Ed, speaking of pivots, you know, we're almost at the end of 2018.
Yeah.
What are you excited for in the accounting landscape in 2019?
Wow, I'm excited for a lot. In fact, I said on the session, I don't have the term future shock. I don't have future shock. I have future glee.
Good. I like that.
I have absolutely I can't wait for the future. Like the future is just unbelievable. I think for what just short-term 2019, I think we start to see the emergence of some of this technology that I'm talking about. We start interestingly enough, when is blockchain going to be making an impact? And the answer is when we stop talking about blockchain,
Yeah.
Okay.
right? Because
Yeah. When it becomes part of
it's
just the
part and
mainstream.
parcel of the mainstream. And we're going to start to see small snippets. I don't think, we're going to have this
Huge, like a
explosion.
title shift.
But by the end of 2019, there's going to be conversations that you and I, the three of us, can back have and say, that stuff that's happening over here, that's blockchain. Like, nobody talks about it as blockchain,
But
but it's
it is.
blockchain,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, and I
It's
think that's what,
technology that makes it work.
Exactly.
We're gonna move past
On
the
the back end.
cryptocurrencies, that kind of like fad,
yes,
start of the trend.
that's correct. And then it's going to make its way in, and we're going to start to see actually things begin to
Enterprise
emerge
level.
out of that, because there's a lot of smart people, way smarter than me, thinking
Oh,
about
yeah, thinking
this
about it,
stuff.
figuring out, doing those things.
How do you do that? Yeah.
So that's what I would say for 2019.
Well, also with that, you want to add anything on Ron's behalf on value pricing quickly, or just want to say value pricing a couple times?
No, you know what? I will say this. So, Ron and I are friends. We do the radio show together, and one of the things that we're seeing in terms of this is we're past value pricing. We're now ready to declare victory.
Oh, victory!
Wow.
We're just declaring victory,
Yeah.
and we're moving on to full-based pricing models and models that are based totally on subscription,
Yes.
including everything that you do is going to become a subscription.
Yes, that is the.
Okay.
Right, so it's beyond.
The next step.
Value pricing is a component of
Yes.
that.
Yes, because you need
Well,
the
'cause you have to get the
methodology,
pricing,
value,
right, yeah.
pricing to begin
But
with.
Yep.
It's now beyond that. And how can you be like you are a subscriber to Amazon Prime?
Yep.
How are you going to be a subscriber to your firm Prime?
Yes,
That's the question, and that's what we're talking about now.
I like that.
That's good
It's the
stuff.
subscription-based
I like
world, everybody.
It is.
Yeah.
You're scared of a subscription to pretty much everybody, whether it's.
Porsche, you can subscribe
Yes.
to Porsche.
Do you have that subscription? Can we go drive your Porsche?
Yeah, seriously, man. I was gonna say, wait a second. Is the
No,
Porsche
it's,
outside?
it's only in Atlanta and a
Okay.
minimum $2,000 a month.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Well,
But
that's nothing for it.
yeah, but here's the cool thing. It includes gas is the only thing you input. It includes insurance,
Okay, yeah.
right?
Which is a big deal.
Which is a big deal.
I mean,
It
you never
includes
Porsche
insurance,
goes down.
and you can change cars
Yeah,
18 times in the first year.
Okay, well, that's pretty sweet.
yeah. So you get a full like Porsche.
Option.
You
experience.
subscribe to Porsche, not a Porsche.
But
You
the whole
subscribe
Porsche
to
catalog,
Porsche.
yeah.
Because their goal there is, a subscription, understand your customer.
Mhm.
I can afford a Porsche, I want the Porsche experience. This
Yeah.
month I want the two-seater, the sedan, the SUV.
High end.
Yep,
And
yep.
if I can afford that $2,000 a month, I want that
Yeah.
freedom and flexibility. You just go to the
Yeah.
dealership and be like,
Yeah.
here you go. I want this
That.
one. I'm out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brilliant,
That is
right?
brilliant.
Yeah.
It's that change word. It is definitely subscription-based.
It is.
So like where you go with that.
Yep. So that would be
Moving
nice.
past the value pricing,
Mhm.
We're done.
subscription-based methodology.
Victory.
Is there gonna be a parade?
I mean, we're moving on. Yeah.
Just moving on. No parade for value pricing victory, but it's been declared.
Declared. We've
Declared.
declared victory.
Stand for that. All right, Ed, we appreciate the time. Thanks
My
for being
pleasure.
here.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
It was fun.
Our pleasure.
Heavily, it was fun, great time, ensuring success. If you didn't watch it live, check it out on YouTube, check it out on their website.
Mhm.
It's there all the time. 10 amazing sessions from some of the best minds in the country. And as always, take steps today to invest in yourself like we talked about and change the world. Thanks, everybody.